For a test that has a reading and writing section, the SAT doesn't test very much writing. There's actually only two concepts of writing that they test, and they only make up about 20% of the test. The first concept that we're going to go over are transitions. I'm sure most of you have heard of a transition before. A transition is a word that links two different ideas, and it also kind of gives a preview of the relationship between those ideas. So if you see a specific transition word, you can guess what the relationship between the two ideas are. There's four main types of transitions that you have to know about. The first type are agree or disagree transitions, and this is where the second idea clearly supports or refutes the first idea. The second type of transition is an example transition, and this is where the second idea is an example of the first idea. Don't mix these up with the agree transitions. When you're dealing with an agree transition, it's a different idea that supports the first idea, whereas in an example, it has to actually be an example of the first idea. The third type is a sequence transition. This is where a time or sequence of events is involved. And a big hint that you're dealing with a sequence transition is there's going to be other sequence transitions in the passage. The last type is cause and effect. This is where the first idea is the cause and the second idea is the effect. So the first idea results in the second idea. Those four transition types should cover most of the answer choices, and you can use those to use process of elimination. Here's how that process of elimination would look in this example question. So I'm going to start off by reading the first sentence, and it's just telling us that there's a field that's divided in two groups. The first group is the dispersalists, and the second group is the vicarianists. And then the second sentence is just explaining what the dispersal beliefs are and then what the vicariance beliefs are. So it's basically just saying the same thing again. Now let's go through the answer choices and choose the best one. So furthermore is an agree transition, and when you're dealing with an agree transition, you need to have a different idea that supports the first one. That's not happening here, so it can't be right. The second one, by contrast, is a disagree transition. We're clearly not disagreeing here. We can get rid of that. C is also an agree transition, and it doesn't work for the same reasons as furthermore. That leaves us with answer choice D, that is. And this is called a restatement transition. It's not as common as the four types I went over, but it's perfect here because we just say the idea and then we kind of go into it a little more depth, but we're basically saying the same thing. Now, the second concept that's tested in SAT writing is called rhetorical synthesis, and that may sound fancy, but it's really pretty simple. The best way to explain what rhetorical synthesis is just to show you a question. So in this question here, you see that you have a bunch of bullet points, and then you have a question and then some long answer choices. So the bullet points are just notes on a certain topic, and then your goal is to write a sentence that uses some of those information to do a purpose. That purpose is going to be in the question. So in this example here, we want to present the primary aim of the research study. So that's our goal. Now here's the secret to these questions. You can almost always get them right without even reading the notes. I'll show you how that works. So our first answer choice does look like it could be the purpose of the study. It makes sense. It's what they want to understand. The second answer choice is explaining how they did the experiment, which is not what their goal of the experiment is, so we can eliminate it. Answer choice C, same idea. They found this is a result that they found when they did the experiment. It's not what they wanted to understand. And it's the same thing with answer choice D. That's another result of the experiment. So I haven't even looked at the notes yet, and I can tell you that A is probably the correct answer. And if you went back and read the notes, you'd see that I'm right. So when you're trying to solve rhetorical synthesis questions, I just find the purpose or whatever you're trying to do with the sentence in the question first, then eliminate as many answer choices as you can. And then if you haven't eliminated all of them, you can go back to the notes and use those to find the correct answer. So there you have it. As promised, I don't know exactly how long this video is yet, but it's definitely under 5 minutes. That should definitely be enough for you to solve any SAT writing question, and stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to go over SAT algebra.